Hello everyone, my name is Ricardo Agung Basana, and now I'm gonna explain you about our project, Online Census. In this part of analysis, we will discuss about our project about an online census application that can help the government to record the population. And is it also easy to use because all the requirement is easy to fill. For this project, we using Java as the programming language and using MySQL as the database. In this online census application, we can store the data, edit the data, delete the data, update the data, and also sort the data by some specific requirement. Then allow me to explain you about the flowchart. This is the display flowchart, or we can say this is the main flowchart. After start, we have 4 buttons: daftar, edit, hapus, and filter. And then the program will accept some input option. If it is daftar, go to the daftar flowchart. If it is no, and if it is edit, if it is yes, going to the edit flowchart. If it is no, it's gonna check the hapus input. If it is yes, it's gonna call the hapus flowchart, and if it is no, it's gonna go to the filter. If the answer is filter, it's gonna call the filter flowchart and go to the end. And if it no, it's going back to the point A, which is the display on the first page of the program. And then I'm gonna explain you about the daftar flowchart. When we click the daftar button, it immediately display us the form pendaftaran, nama, tanggal lahir, tempat lahir, kelamin, status, dan agama. And in this section, we have to input our data, and the program will accept our data. And then it's gonna go to the decision part, because we have to input all of the data, and no data have to be blank. So for the decision part, if nama is not null, if it is yes, it's gonna check the tanggal. If the tanggal is not null, if it is yes, it's gonna check the tempat lahir. If tempat lahir is not null, if it is yes, it's gonna check the kelamin. If kelamin is not null, if it is yes, it's gonna check the status. If status is not null, if it is yes, it's gonna check the agama. And if agama is not null, if it is yes, the data is into the database and has been recorded. But when the program doing the decision part and one category is going no, so it's going to the point B, which is going back to the first page, which is display in the first step of pendaftaran. And then we're going to the edit flowchart. Edit flowchart, when we first click it, it will display nomor induk, and we have to fill it with our nomor induk in here, and the program will accept the nomor induk. After that, the program will display the data like nama, tanggal lahir, tempat lahir, until agama, based on the nomor induk that we have input in the first. And because of this is an edit or update page, we have to input the new data, and all category have to been filled. And then it's gonna go to the decision part. If nama is not null, if it yes, it's gonna go to the tanggal. If tanggal is not null, if it yes, it's gonna go to tempat tanggal lahir. If go to tempat lahir. If tempat lahir is not null, if it yes, it's gonna go to the kelamin. If kelamin is not null, if it yes, it's gonna go to the status. If status is not null, if it yes, it's going to go to the agama. And if agama is not null, if it yes, it's going to return back. And in just like the daftar flowchart, if one of the decision category is answering no, the program will go to point C, which is going back to the first page of edit flowchart. Next, we have hapus flowchart. When we click hapus, it's same like update or edit flowchart. We have to input our nomor induk or nomor induk that we want to delete, and then the program will display the data based on nomor induk. And if we want to delete it, if we hit yes, it's gonna display data telah dihapus and then return. And if we hit no, it's gonna back to the point D, which is the first page in hapus flowchart. Next, this is the filter search flowchart. When we click filter, it's gonna display the nama, tanggal lahir, tempat lahir, tanggal input, kelamin, status, dan agama. And then the program will check if the program accept input in nama, display data by nama. If we hit yes, then the program will display the data by nama and go to the return. If we hit no, the program will check if the program accept an input in tanggal lahir, display data by tanggal lahir. If it yes, the program will display the data by tanggal lahir. If it no, the program will check again if the program accept an input in tanggal lahir. Sorry, in tempat lahir. If it yes, display data by tempat lahir. And if it no, the program will check again if the program accept an input in tanggal input and display data by tanggal input. If it yes, the program will display the data by tanggal input. And if it no, the program will check if the program accept an input in kelamin, display data by kelamin. If it yes, the program will display data by kelamin. And if it no, the program will check again if the program accept an input in status or not, and then display data by status. If it yes, the program will display the data by status. And if it no, the program will check again for the last time, is there any input in agama, and display data by agama. If it yes, yeah, the program will display the data by agama and go to the return. And if it no, it's going to the point E, which is the first page in filter search flowchart. This is the database. We have 8 part in here, and the nick, which is nomor induk kependudukan, is the key. For nick, we use integer. For nama, tempat lahir, kelamin, status, dan agama, we use varchar. And for tanggal lahir dan tanggal input, we use date and date time. And then this is the output. And on the left side, this is the display output. This is the first page that show up when we run the application. We have 4 buttons in here. If we click daftar, it's going to the left side. This is the form daftar output. In here, we have to fill our name or nama, tanggal lahir, tempat lahir, kelamin, status, dan agama. And we have to click daftar, and our data is being recorded in the database. And then this is update or edit output and hapus output. In update or edit, we have to fill first our nickname or the nickname that we want to update or edit it in this column, and we're going to search. And because this is update and edit form, we have to fill the new data. like the new nama, the new tanggal lahir, until the new agama. And we click update, and then the data in the database is updated. This is the output of hapus. Before we want to delete the program, we have to input the nomor induk of the program, of the data that we want to delete it. After we input it, we click cari, and the data will show in this side of the output. And if we agree to delete it, we click delete, and it will show up some warning. If you want to delete it, click yes. If you don't want to delete it, just click no. And then this is the filter search output. When we click filter search, it show up nama, tanggal lahir, tempat lahir, tanggal input, kelamin, status, dan agama. In here, those 7 categories is the category that we want to use in filter search. Like if we want to search a data based on kelamin, just fill the kelamin, like woman or man, and then we click cari search, and then the program will sort the data based on the category and show in this white spaces in the bottom of the program. Okay, this is the end of my explanation. Thank you.
Okay. In this change, I want to explaining about the code program about our census program especially. And then as you can see in the screen, there are 6 steps of 6 different class about our program. There are connection DB who have the job to connecting the database to our application, and there is beranda alias home, menu daftar alias we can say it's a register menu, and menu update for updating or editing, menu delete for deleting the data, and the last one is filter search. It's about searching a based user input, or we can say filtering the data. Okay, first there is code program about connecting the database. First, you can see in here I want to show the structure data first. You can see in here our data connection DB and the application class was separated to different folder. For the connection DB, we put in our database folder, and for the UI itself, we put in the project menu, project folder, I mean. Okay, then before we begin the code, I want to show you the database first. Here, our structure database, we have 8 fields. We using one table. There are table warga, and 7 fields. There are nick about our primary key, or we can say it's an ID, and then a name, your date and place for born, gender, status, religion, and the input data. Okay, after that, let's see to this program first, our connection DB. In here, we import the interpreter, or we can say the library. We import the Java SQL. Stars mean we import all the library SQL. And then we made a public class connection DB. We name it like the file, and then we initiate first the variable connection. This connection is coming from this library connection, and we initiate it to our variable. There are named connection, which the connection value is null. We made this variable is private. And then we made the method for connecting the database. We trying with the try and catch system. First, we make a public connection, set connection. This is a method, or we can say a function. who have a string URL for the location of the database, and then user, since we using the default login, the default login, then we put the user stay in root and the password stay in empty. And then in here we importing the driver for the GDBC is for the SQL for Java connecting, we can say it's a connector. And then we call all this variable into the what you can into this function connection, and then declare with driver manager get connection, pass all the variable who held the this like URL, user, pass, and driver into inside this method. Okay, and then catch if this if catch exception error, if we fail to connect the database, maybe we haven't turning on this XMP, it will catch the exception error, and then we show the error message with the error message. Okay, return connection, it will save the output, or we can say save all the output for the program into the connection. And then we come to the Branda, or we can say the home. In here there are a simple program, we already running the program. Here it's about our home. There are a logo, and then menu for registering, for editing, for deleting, and for filtering. Here so this post means we're gonna change to the another windows. Like we can see in here we have a register, so if we click the register it will pop up the new window. It's about to registering. We're going back. It's same for the other programs for like edit, or we can say updating the data, daftar for register, and this deleting and filtering. Okay, next we're gonna talk about the menu daftar. Here the complicated will start. Okay, let's begin. Here for registering, we can input the data, input the value into this table. Here for the button action, in here I put the if else. It's for if the user is not filling all the form, or we can say if the user at least empty the one table, it will show us to make sure we already fill the table. Okay, so let's give the example like this. It's empty. I haven't changed in or filled the table yet. So if I click this button, it will show this warning message to make sure all the field is already filled. Okay, and then what next? What happen if we it's not null? I mean, if we filled all the table, it's simple. It will run to the else program. It will get all the name, get text, all this table will get saved into this program. So like name will get get text, kelamin, status, agama, and tanggal. It will get all the table. It's for combo box. We using get selected item, and we convert to string because the database only receive the string, or we can say a string, not an index from the combo box. And then after we all get this variable, we make an insert. This function insert we put in below. Here it's about how we push the data to the MySQL server. Here we using a try and catch method again. In here string SQL, hold the string about the query of the SQL, insert into table name, which value is who declared in the below. First is set integer, it's an auto and auto increment, so we gonna start it from 0 and we put in the first field. And then we can say a name, a date, a place of birth, a gender, a status, and a religion. And the last one is here for the input date. So we can see to the field when is the user inputting their data, so we can know based from this program. It's an auto-generated by system, same like an ID, but it's for the date. Okay, so like an example, I will put my name first. Here we choosing a random birth date. Let's say okay. You can see in here the date has been successfully entered to our database, so we can see our okay. Here we can see, and then let's proceed to the updating menu. Okay, in here we using nick as the primary key, or we can say the number who can generate all the data, so we can find the data based from nick. So we can see in the query first. There are, we can select the name of the table, all the table from table name, where the condition nick is import to the basic user input. Here we can see netbox get text, and then in here we parse the, why we parsing the number induk to integer, because get text literally it's for getting the string only. So we make sure since the nick table is integer field type, so we make sure the nick number induk is parsed to integer. Okay, and then here if the nick box get text is not null, so we can initiate the program. If a not null means if the user put the right number to the to this box, so we can proceed to the try and catch in this program. Okay, in here we have the same method like the register menu. If the user is here for the updating, you can see the button on here, update. It's for updating the data. Same like the register, if the user is not changing anything, if the user not deleting all the tables, so all the table back to null like this, it will show the error and make sure to all the field is been filled. Else, if user fill the data, it will get all the field, so we can proceed to the next function is update. If the find button is finding the data, so we just need to set text, all set, we can say it's getting the data from the database and set the data to our application. Else, if we didn't find any data inside our database, we can show to them that we haven't find our data, give a warning message. Here in for the update, same like the find button, we're gonna use the nick base our primary key and parse it to the integer, and then we're gonna use try and catch method. Here we have the query is updating table name, set the field based from the user input. So we can say set the name, set the birth date, set the place of the birth, gender, status, religion, and input date, where nick is based the user input. So we can see based user input. Let's make example. We're gonna use table number nick number 16. So if we find the 16, it will show us the data. It's from the name, the birth date, and all the data that we need. In here, in case we want to change the name to the other name, we can say we put like this, and change the gender like this, and we update. It will show us the message to that our data has been updated to our database. If we refresh the program in here, we can see that the name has been successfully changed. Okay, it's all about the updating data. Now it's a delete. It's far more simple, like not like the others, our two previous program. In here, we just need to find the nick, same like before. we find the nick, and we make sure that the nick is not null. We parse it to the integer. We put the try and catch. We must find that all the data from the field name until the religion from this table name based on this condition nick, or we can say based on user input, find it, prepare it, and execute. Okay, it's about the finding the table. Let's see our view first. Here, same. We using nick as our ID. We find it, then it will show us to the data. We put the example like the previous example. Here 16 as the example. We find it, that it will show us that the name I have been changed, and the gender that I have been changed. In here, it will show us if we successfully to find the data inside our database. It will show us set all the table based from the name, birth date, and others else. Else, if we didn't find any data in our database, it will show us data have been found. Okay, catch if it's something error with the database, it will show us the error message. Here, we have the program to back the menu if we successfully use the program. Okay, here the delete menu. Here the function. It's about same. We find the number in the first. Make sure the box is not null. We parse it to the integer. We use in here. We make sure the user is want to delete the data. So we using this show confirm dialog. Are you sure? Warning message. If the user put yes, then we can delete the data, but in here we using try and catch first. So if we user choosing yes, so we can execute the next program, delete this data from where based on user input, execute this string query, this query SQL, and then if error, catch. If not, it will be delete. Else, if we successfully, it will show us that our data has been successfully deleted. Else, if we haven't find the data, it will show us that our data not found. Okay, let's make example first. Here, number 16, we can see is our data, and here we put delete. Sure, are you sure? Yes, it will successfully that our data has been deleted. We refresh the page, make sure number 16 it's successfully deleted. Here we can see the number 16. Okay, next then we do the filter search. This program is kind of mess. We show you the GUI first. Okay, filter search. Here in here we just need to find the database user. If the edit program and delete program find based the nick number, in here we use the filtering. So from which gender we gonna show us, the status which one is gonna to us, and religion which one is going to show to us. Okay, let's see what we have in our database left. In here we just have two valid data. In here we have people who born from Jakarta and the people who born from Papua. So if we gonna use that find the data based from the birthplace, so we're gonna type this one. It will show us that the person who born in this place is only one. And if we find based from a gender, let's see, we have two separate gender. I'll go first. Fine, it will show us that her is a girl, and if we choosing a man, it will show this name that was a man. Same like the others. If we put the others religion, find here. Oh, it's not there. Muslim, Protestant. Okay, it will show us that their religion is literally this one based user input. If we change to this religion, it will show the different data. Okay, that's all from me. It's about our program. It's simple program, but I hope it filled all the qualification. So thank you for your attention.